Welcome, viewers. As you are aware that through International Council for Industrial Security and Safety Management, we bring security leadership discussion. And in these discussions, we take a subject which is very, very relevant and which is aimed to enhance the knowledge and skill of security professionals. These discussions are organized by ICISS, whose motto is "Let's professionalize the security professionals." And with this in mind, we have another very important discussion lined up, in which our security leadership discussion specialist is Mr. Arijit. Mr. Arijit Vishwas is from VOGIC AI, and Mr. Arijit is a technology entrepreneur with a passion for bridging the divide between the physical and digital world. He has spent more than 7 years developing innovative solutions that seamlessly merge these two spaces in smarter ways and logical ways. These two driving transformative experiences and unlocking new possibilities. These two words are uh, that is how joined together. His latest venture, VOGIC AI, leverages the power of sight, vision, and artificial intelligence to make physical space smarter and safer. With the VOGIC AI, he is intending to revolutionize the way CCTV footage is utilized, making it effortlessly searchable. And searchable is the key word here. This technology enables instant access to any incident of interest within seconds, eliminating the arduous hours spent on manual searching. Considering the local CCTV with the average 100 to 200 cameras and with entire uh, standalone CCTV systems are now being merged together as part of enterprise solution. So they have now thousands of cameras on common platform. This tool is going to be very essential to draw maximum benefits of the technologies associated with CCTV system for industrial security management. So, Arijit, you are welcome. My pleasure and privilege to bring you to this discussion. And I know that the idea on which you are working is going to make a paradigm change. But most of us, we the security professionals, do not understand much of the technologies, and AI is something which we have just started understanding at the elementary level. So my request is to request you to discuss how you go through the entire technological approach, bring in CCTV system, another tool which will make it smarter. Today we are still struggling to have right type of video analytics and other tools. So how you are going to leverage the technology for very effective CCTV system for security professionals?
Thank you so much, sir. It is a pleasure speaking in front of all of you today. Yes, I I do not come from a security background. To be very honest, I do not come from a security background. The background I come from is a technology background. So I have been developing solutions for the technology solutions for enterprises for the last 7 8 years, and that's where I look at everything and every industry or every problem statement from the lens of technology, from the lens of automation. And one thing which became very clear to me during my journey is the CCTV infrastructure. Like CCTV, so we cannot be everywhere. We cannot be everywhere. We would, but we want to be everywhere, right? So there is always. So in today's world, there's a lot of aspect of FOMO, fear of missing out, right? So that's what CCTVs are. It kind of gives you the feeling that you are not missing out anything. But are you actually not missing out anything? I don't think so, right? Because the CCTV cameras, yes, they are recording footages every day, every second, 24 hours, literally. But are you watching those footages? Are you figuring out any information from these footages? Are you able to search these footages? The answer, 99 out of 100 times, is no. The only people who are currently even reviewing those footages diligently across time are people who are in very high security or very high, extremely secure environments. For example, nuclear facility, but who have to do it literally every day. But even when you ask them that are there any things which they are missing, they will say yes, they're missing. The reason is cognitive. The reason is because as humans, if we are looking at a screen for more than 20 minutes, we'll not be able to distinguish small changes. That's how our human brain is hardwired. And hence, human monitoring of CCTV cameras becomes a pain. It's a challenge. It's a time consuming exercise. And people don't see value in the data the CCTV footages generate. So while talking about data, right? So a lot of times heard people say that data is the new oil. Okay, what does that mean? Oil you can use to run your cars, run your machines, run your electricity. So, but then what is data, and how is the data as a new oil? The reason why people say data is the new oil, and what I've appreciated in my journey, professional journey, um is that with data you can unlock decisions which are based on, and where the outcome of those decisions or outcome of things which you will do, there'll be a higher probability of making the right decision. So with data, your probability of making a right decision increases, and hence it's called data is the new oil. So if your probability increases, you would never know that whether you'll succeed or not. But if you are able to increase your probability of success, and then your chances of gaining or succeeding increases. And in terms of data, CCTV footages are in today's world the biggest sources of data, which any business, any enterprise, any industry can generate on its own. So while people say a lot of people are uploading videos on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, but just to give you stats, the amount of footages or amount of videos recorded on Facebook today versus the amount of in a day versus the amount of footages recorded by CCTV cameras in a day. So Facebook is only 0.5 times or half of what CCTV cameras record throughout the day. So essentially, the CCTV cameras are recording a lot of data, generating a lot of data, but there are not effective tools to make sense of that data, create that data into oil, make a value from that data. And with that belief, me along with some other people, some of my founders and people, all of us who have been very passionate about the use of technology in different fields, we started working on an idea to make CCTV cameras searchable. Right? So CCTV cameras searchable right now. CCTV cameras, the footage in CCTV cameras are not searchable. And as far as security is concerned, there are four pillars of security: prevention, detection, response, and recovery. So in all these cases, if you are able to add an element of search in the footages, make these footages may come up with ideas to make the right footage available to you at the right time, then you can add value to all these four layers, right? And that's the premise on which we are building the company VOGIC. So V stands for video, and OGIC is for logic. So video logic, right? That's what the name of VOGIC we have conceptualized. So video logic essentially means that we'll give you tools and systems to incorporate logic in your videos. And secondly, we want to make the consumption of these videos as friendly and as likable as how you are currently today watching OTT platforms. So if I ask people, do you spend a few hours in a week watching videos? They'll say yes. So do you spend a few hours watching videos for education? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. If I ask them, do you spend a few hours today in today's world in a week watching videos for recreation and entertainment purpose? 19 out of 100 times people will say absolutely yes. It can be Facebook, it can be Instagram, it can be WhatsApp, it can be Hotstar, Netflix, whichever. But people are watching them. But if I ask people, are you looking at your CCTV footages, which are being generated every day? Again, 90 out of 100 times, people will say, no, we don't do it. And we ask them the question, why don't you do it? And they say that we don't do it because it is not fun. It is not a fun exercise. We are not gaining anything new out of it, because mostly the footages don't change. So we are not able to figure out what has happened. And we believe this is an activity which is only for low level security guards, no one else. So that's the problem, right? That's the mindset we want to change. And to change that mindset, we are building all these technologies, all these tools which will help them consume footages in a way in which they are used to and they love doing it, which is Netflix, Google, Instagram. If I ask you today, Netflix, Google, and when I say Netflix, I'm talking about all OTTs. So Netflix, Instagram, and Google are the places you spend a lot of your time in the digital world. And on that note, the Google part is the search. The Netflix part is the categorization we are doing with the videos, so that the videos are automatically getting categorized. And the Instagram part is the short form content of these videos. If I'm able to, like for example, Instagram, you see somebody's activity throughout the day for 24 hours in the form of short stories, right? Collection of stories, a collage of stories, and that stories you can consume in 1 minute. So imagine 24 hours of content of that person you are able to consume in a minute. So, is there a way where you can consume 24 hours of footage from your CCTV camera and generate only the right things or the right incidents and show it in 1 minute? Yes, we are on a mission to do that, right? So that's what people say. Google, right? Google. What is Google? If I ask you what is Google, so Google is a search platform, and it will essentially allow you to search for anything and everything in today's world with just a few clicks, few keywords, and in literally seconds or microseconds, milliseconds, literally, right? So that's what the power of Google is. But if I ask you, can you do the same thing with your footages from CCTV cameras? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Forget seconds; it will take hours. And so that's the power you want to bring to every person, so that they can search for their footages with simple keywords like in Google in seconds instead of hours. So imagine just typing in you get a screen where you can just type out, show me all incidents where there was uh, a trespassing in my server room after 9 p.m. across all my warehouses, right? All my warehouses. You have 50 warehouses. Trespassing can happen in any of these warehouses. You are talking about time frame of beyond 9 p.m. So if you actually had to find out this data in today's world, we're using existing VMS system, video management systems. The uh, the I'm sure it will take you hours to find out that data. Here, what we are building today is building a platform where you can just type in those keywords and you will get these footages instantly in literally seconds. That's the beauty of the tool we are making. So Albert Einstein had once said, "It is not the technology, but how it is not the idea or the technology, but how you use that idea or technology which that matters." Right? And AI, while it's a buzzword, artificial intelligence is a buzzword. Everyone says that we want to incorporate AI in our business, in our industry, in our lives. But is there a way to effectively use it, AI? That's the power we want to bring, so that every person, irrespective whether you are 15 years old, just entered the world of professionals, or like just going to enter the world of professionals, or you are 65 years old who has a dearth of experience, comes with a dearth of experience. For both of you, the system should be equally accessible, equitable, and meaningful. And today's systems, unfortunately, are not. Today's systems are very hard tuned, that only people who are trained on these systems can effectively use them. So with our technology, we are making CCTV footages searchable, and we are making CCTV footages, the consumption of CCTV footages, easy and easily, like in Netflix or in Instagram, for a broad audience. Security professionals will probably be the first acceptors, adopters of this platform, because you people have already been using CCTV footages for a while now. right? You've already been using surveillance and vigilance for a while now. So for you, it's a natural progression, and for other industries, it will probably take some more handholding, right? So on that note, I will just share with you how the platform looks like once, so that it creates some sort of an idea in your mind, so that you can, when there is an Q&A session, you can ask me all the questions. And with that note, just give me a moment. Okay, I will probably do that later on. I'm just trying to figure out the slides, but that's the power we are trying to build to every person. That search your CCTV footages in seconds, and how we are doing it is we are doing by indexing the data. The same concept of Google. I'm a firm believer in Google, right? So I was, in fact, when I was in my undergrad as well as in business school, I interviewed with Google. Really liked the process. So I'm a firm believer in Google. Does it makes things simpler, right? So, but the backend is extremely technical heavy, but the front end which the users use is extremely simple. So what we are doing is we are indexing every video frame, indexing video frames on different aspects. For example, if I have to index the current video frame, like my footage, so how will I index it? I will index it in the following manner. I'll index it saying that first of all, it's a human being, it's a person. Then I'll say indexing further categorization, it's a male. Then I'll further categorize and say that the male is wearing a black shirt, like shirt, and then color of the shirt black. Then I will also say that as an accessory, this male is wearing a spec. As an accessory, this male is also having a earphone. And if there are any characters which are visible on the screen, so if you can see OGIC are the characters which are visible on the screen, right? So these are the characters which are visible on the screen. So this frame has been indexed with all this information: male, black shirt, specs, earphones, characters, OGIC. So now imagine you're known. This is happening in real time, continuously across all cameras, 24/7, 365. And now you have to search for something. Let's say there was you have to search for, you got an alarm like a security, some you have to respond to an incident, and the incident said that, hey, we saw somebody who's wearing a male who just ran out of our premises wearing a black shirt. So how will you find it? So you can, in our system, you can just go in and type male black shirt, and if you know that the male was wearing specs, you can also say male black shirts wearing specs, and then all the footages relevant to that those keywords will come up on the screen, which means not only mine, anywhere throughout the day across all the cameras, any male wearing a black shirt with specs would come up. Now, for what is a further level of classification that we can do? We can also talk about the age of that male, right? So if you can, so looking at my screen, the system will categorize this face into probably an age group of 30 to 40. It will not be precise. It will not say that I am 33 years old. It will say in the age group of 30 to 40. So now you have further refined your search. If you can say male, black shirt, wearing specs in the age group of 30 to 40, the more keywords you enter, the more information you enter, you will get the right footage almost instantly. Right? This is just the start. Now, once you're able to search, imagine what you can do after the search. You can collate all the information and present in the form of insights. Right? Insights are dashboards, which is a collection, a summary of a lot of information. So that our tool is also capable of doing that. Um, yeah. So with that note, I will let Sir get involved and ask a few more questions related to technology. I can keep on telling more about what we are building, the vision we are doing, but I want to hear some questions with respect to the industry focused questions, which I'll be very happy to answer. It can be along the lines of prevention, safety, incident response, right? And I'll be happy to answer as to what is our vision around building the product aligned with these problem statements. You're not audible. You're not audible.
Yeah, Arijit, what you are developing is something besides the video management system. So
Absolutely
I
correct,
have
sir.
I have a CCTV system, fully functional, and then I bring your solution. Okay, this solution would be uh, controlling the video management system, or CCTV management and control system, or it will be separate and only will interface with video management system as and when query is raised and references are drawn. How it is going to work, and will it be for every kind of video management system in the market today?
So, very good question. And this brings me back to my initial point of making the technology accessible and equitable for everyone. So, we will not, our objective is not to hard bound you into saying that, hey, if you are only using a certain video management system, if you're only using Genetic, or you are only using Access or using Hikvision, you'll be able to use our system. No, the idea is absolutely we want to democratize the use of our technology. So how people can leverage our technology, they can do it in multiple ways. Firstly, they can, if they have standalone cameras with just an NVR, IP based cameras, just an NVR, they can plug in with our system. We also provide a small server, which is the AI server, which has graphical processing units where all the computation happens, so that your data, or the customer's data, the client's data, the government's data, or anybody, any administration whose data is there from CCTV cameras, that data does not go out of your premises. Because data, we are very much concerned about data and security, so we don't want people to access your data. So we have a small hardware which is placed in your premises itself. So that hardware can connect to either your cameras directly without any VMS system, and or it can connect with a VMS system, and then EMS system can essentially route the data from these from the route the data to our system, from where you can do the queries. Does that answer the question? I mean, uh, the broad idea is we are not locking anyone in. We don't want to lock anyone in. We are absolutely platform agnostic. We are absolutely camera agnostic. We don't say that we work with only Hikvision or Genentech or Access or Bosch or Honeywell. None of them. We, any camera which works on, has an RTSP link, or is in the ONVIF protocol. ONVIF is the common standard protocol for cameras. So any camera which is in that protocol, we are happy to integrate our. I mean, we're not even happy. We system is built in such a way that it will automatically get integrated with that camera.
Now, while VOGIC, and this is what you are going to call your new product, right?
Right. Correct.
So this VOGIC is continuously indexing.
Continuously indexing. That's correct. You don't. That is the reason why you can get the data instantly.
So while this VOGIC is continuously indexing, and indexing in particular given reference points, or you can develop your own reference points subsequently. My question is based on that assumption that you might be having your preset indexing list. So maybe 10 list for indexing reference items, 20. And I feel that as security professional, I feel that some reference point is missed. So can it be added later? And this is how you make your logic in the learning mode.
Yes, sir. You are absolutely right. So there is a technology which we have built, which is called one-shot learning. So one-shot learning essentially means that you can, you are free, or you are empowered to train the model also, right? However, there are some caveats to it. Which the caveats essentially means that you have to give the model around 30 images, 30 images in various positions, and of course the tool will help you to do all of that, right? Essentially the tool, so you have to feed in your videos or your images, annotate what you're looking for. For example, if the annotation is you have to figure out all people or all the employees or all the staff who are wearing this uniform, let's say VOGIC, right? VOGIC is a uniform, and everybody, and the system is not trained on figuring out this particular uniform. This particular uniform of VOGIC, the system is not trained. One way to do it is you can use our OCR technology, which is comes with the technology, and say wherever these characters are found, then figure out the system. But if you want to say that no, I want to identify people with this particular uniform, to do that, and you have to train the system. So you what you have to give the system is 30 to 40 images, well lit images, high resolution images, a mix, actually mix of high resolution as well as low resolution images, where people are wearing this particular uniform which captures VOGIC. And then there is a settings page in the system where you can say upload these images and train the model. So once you do that, there is an additional filter will come out to you, will be accessible to you, which is called custom filter, which will say, and you will be able to name that filter saying that VOGIC uniform, right? So you once you train the model using those new set of images which you can upload, and name it accordingly, saying that VOGIC uniform. Next time, whenever the system sees somebody wearing this VOGIC uniform, it will flag out, alert you, help you make it searchable. And that's and from a technology perspective, this is internally what we call as one-shot learning, which means that in a single shot of 30 images, you are training the algorithm or retraining the algorithm for your use case.
Is there any similar product developed elsewhere?
Yes, there is so I would not, I mean, I would not say an exact replica, but of course we are also, while we are developing, I am very believer of the fact that we need to take inspiration from others, right? So we always have role models, right? As a kid, my dad was my role model. Going at work, my partner in my consulting firm was my role model. So over a period of time, your role model changes. Similarly, when we are developing our product or our technology, we have role models or inspirations. So there is a company in the US called Spot AI, which is also built with the same vision. The vision, how they are, the vision of indexing every video frame. So what is how their interface looks like? How do you interact with their system? What are the dashboards they're providing to you? Those are different from how we are doing it, but the broad vision to index every video frame and make it searchable is an idea which a company called Spot AI, which has been there in the market for the last 6 years, they are also working with the same vision.
But you will still have some unique features which are not common to any other competitors.
Absolutely.
So, so that means, so far as India is concerned, you are going to be the lone player, right?
Uh, yes, but at the same point of time, I believe in healthy competition. That I believe is competition is always healthy.
Competition will not,
Competition,
you will not grow the competition yourself, right?
right, right. Of course. No, I
Competition will
want the market to grow. I want the
come.
market to grow. So I'll be very happy tomorrow if you, sir, if you or anyone in this audience comes across another product which is similar to us. So
My
and then
question was, aimed at different point of view, that when security professionals, they get to know that there is, very very powerful tool available in the market, and that will help getting the maximum out of their CCTV system, so they will buy.
right,
The process begins, and process begins with indenting.
right,
Indenting, in that tendering, uh, indenting leads to tendering, tendering leads to contract being awarded, work order issue. And the question comes whether product is proprietary item, right? Because
right.
if it is proprietary item, then there is no competition, and we'll go for single tender and whole lot of things. So my point was not for developing healthy competition. Competition can take place later on, because anyone who leads the field definitely will be the market leader. Why,
Absolutely.
at the cost of having healthy competition, lose your position as market leader? So my point was from that angle. So now, having understood the logic behind Logic,
Yes. Very well
Okay.
put.
That
Very
was the
well put.
title I used, on social media when informing about this discussion, logic behind the logic. So this tool will help security professionals do the auditing and auditing of their, not only they have certain concerns, some searches to be done, some people to be identified, some activities to be monitored, but then first and foremost thing for security chief, because he is not going to be present 36 24 hours a day. So when he comes to the office, first he would like to know what are the alarms,
Right.
how situations were responded, alarm management.
Correct.
So, is there any tool for that for security chiefs?
Absolutely. So I'm just going to try to again show my screen. Previously, there were some issues.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I could see. I could see. I will add to the screen, and yes, now you can play.
now I will actually do something else, which will give you an actual how the system looks like. I'll show you that. Uh,
So, you want me to remove this video?
yes, if you can remove this video, I'll play. I will find this. I hope my screen is everyone is able to see my screen, right? My screen is visible. I
Oh,
hope that everyone, right? So yeah, so it's very simple. That this is how the platforms looks like, and just a second. Yeah, the platforms looks like there. You can see a live video, live view of everything going on. You can also the next the search part, right? The search part is interesting, where most of our innovation is coming from, and in the search you can. This is how you can search. You can search for a camera, you can search multiple cameras. You can say cameras in a parking lot, all cameras. You can say all cameras, or in a parking lot you can do this. You can confirm these cameras. You can choose the dates, you can choose the schedule, and then these are all the AI filters which comes to you. These AI filters around motion, whether any motion was detected, was that motion a fast motion or slow motion, was there, what was the duration of that motion. These are around the additional filters around motion. Then you have person, any person detected, physical appearance of the person, gender of the person, age group of the person, clothes of the person, accessories of the person, activity of the person. So was the person walking, standing, moving, those activities. Then you can also do the count of the number of people, where there are 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. Then you can also look at objects, cash, mobile. So example, like in a warehouse there are a lot of cash management going on. So if you look at people having cash at places where they're not supposed to be, you can figure that out from the system. Cash, count of objects, color of objects, this is all again the other properties you can do. With vehicles, you can figure out whether there is any vehicle, the characteristics of the vehicle, type of the vehicle, color of the vehicle, license plate of the vehicle, the number of vehicles. Then characters, like how I told you with OCR, you can say like characters having OGIC. Then you can also integrate with your RFID sensors or lighting sensors or air quality, any other sensor. Then lastly, you can also have incidents such as smoke, fire, flood, and these are other incidents. We are keeping on adding all these other incidents also. So everything which you see today, these are we are continuously innovating and adding more parameters, search parameters to this. Now, when you talk about alarms, so you can see there is a section called events. Within events, we have 3 major innovations. The first one is stories. Stories are nothing but what I told you, Instagram stories. So Instagram stories will look like, for example, tailgating and main entrance. You see, and the top there are four videos. So essentially, 4 videos stitched together into one video across the day. And in the timeline, you'll also see things like 2 people, an icon of person. So you'll know that in this part of the video there was a person detected, and there are two
can
people
you play
detected.
this video of tailgating?
Sorry.
Can you play this video of tailgating?
But sir, for the purpose of the demonstration, we are only just
Okay.
demonstrating it. I can share a link of the video later on,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
which can
Fair enough.
uh, show you more about the video. But yeah, tailgating is just a use case. Again, I say tailgating is a use case. Similarly, unauthorized access is a use case. And the beauty is, we are not saying this is tailgating. We will let the users define what tailgating means to them. What tailgating means can be within in the particular area. You can also draw geofence. I'll show you, go back and show how you can draw geofence. You can say in that geofence, if there are two vehicles which have crossed in less than 2 seconds, that's what you call tailgating. Because ideally, if a vehicle crosses, the other vehicle should be scanned and then it should cross, right? So this is your definition of tailgating. System can give you suggestions of tailgating, but the user is able to define his own logic. Again, back to our in my initial concept of VOGIC and logic. So people are able to define their own logics. Next, we have a section on cases. Cases are things where you can collaborate with others to figure out what happened. For example, let's talk about tailgating only, and for representation purposes, there are multiple incidents of tailgating which have happened across your multiple offices. Now, you need to interact with multiple people to figure out what actually went wrong and what is the trail for the information. So, like how you have a message board, along with these footages, you can also type out different stuff like a chat window, so that anyone who is collaborating with you on these videos, he or she can also input his or her own information, which means that the video is not centralized to just one person. The video is decentralized, the footage are decentralized, people can interact with the videos. So that's the concept of cases. You can create a case, open a case, mark a case as completed, so that the entire process flow of collaboration can happen. For example, if somebody observed, or alarm came out, alert came out that there was a somebody who has entered the server room after 9 p.m., then what the person can do sitting at a remote location, he can open a case, and then he can tag one of the security professionals who's supposed to be there in that building where the breach has happened. Then the security person can also add his or her inputs. So which means the entire case is now being investigated in a collaborative manner, and this entire case can then be shared with others also. For example, a lot of times, police department ask hotels and restaurants to share the footages. So instead of sharing an entire footage, the users can just share this case, which is relevant to that investigation. Lastly, alarms. So alarms, all these alarms, any alarms are whichever are created, they all get tagged, and they are all come in the form of a list. You can open any of these alarms and you can see when the alarm was triggered, from which camera the alarm was triggered, and what was the categorization of that alarm. You can also sort by time, you can sort by cameras. So essentially it will help you figure out only the information you are interested in, if you are only working in a certain building or a certain physical point, or if you're working from a macro perspective, or a high level perspective, you can look at everything together. So both high level view as well as low level views are there. Yeah, so that's pretty much the system. And of course there are the around health and diagnosis of these cameras, the cameras and the AI servers. There's a health and diagnosis of all of them as well. And there are insights. Insights section is something, again, we let people create their own insights, which means that you can create your own widget. We don't tell you that, hey, this is the only graph you will see. You create what you want to see, you say what you want to see in the graph, and that graph will be coming up accordingly. Right? So these are some of the, like, these are the features of the system. And we are building it every day. We are working towards it every day to make it even better. For example, one of the things which we are working on currently is integration of this our system with a access control system. Some people have said that, hey, we want your system to get integrated with an access control system. So that's something which also we are working on. So it's for us, it's a continuous innovation till the day we allow people to figure out the right incident in a matter of seconds, like how Google does. Our journey is just starting. I will still say we are in day zero of our journey, and day 100 is a long way off.
Yeah, while you mentioned the whole thing, I had no, idea whether this would be possible. You mentioned about tailgating.
Yes.
Tailgating is something, big security breach. Now, I want to track that person who has done the tailgating, right? And sometimes tailgating is active and it is passive also on the account of the person who has legitimately gained entry. So, suppose I use my card, or if it is biometrics, use by reference, door opens for me to enter. That is legitimate use of access control system. I go inside and someone without my knowledge does the tailgating. There is another situation where tailgating is actively encouraged by the legitimate user, so that other person is facilitated. Now, in one situation, simple, tailgating person when within the area of a particular camera, then is it possible through AI to keep on tracking that person if that camera is PTZ?
So what we do is typically, so there are two ways. First is facial recognition, where you're recognizing the person. The second is recognizing the contours of that person. When I say contours, not the face, but the features of my face, right? So the recognizing person by facial recognition, while um, a lot of people are doing it, and we have also tried our explored our R&D on that. The success rate is a little low. The reason behind that fact is not all cameras are high quality. You don't get a good picture or good image from all these cameras. Secondly, not all cameras are positioned well enough to look at your face properly, right? However, uh, contours of the person's face, that's more accurate to determine. So what happens is, if a person has moved from camera one, first of all, when you say tracking, it is not just tracking within one camera. Tracking means across multiple areas, which involves multiple cameras also tracking the same person, right? Once the person is, so we have this concept of re-id. The system assigns an id to the person when he is detected from the first time from a camera. So then, if the same ID appears again in a different camera, we say that the person has appeared again. So it is not continuous tracking, but is discontinuous tracking. So whenever your face or a person's contour is visible in front of a camera, it can be the same camera or a different camera, and then we'll accordingly try to map the person and say the person has moved from A to B. But however, just I'll give you a caveat that there are certain inaccuracies with that system. There might be false positives. We work continuously today to make. I believe false positives are okay. True negatives should not be there. Right. So a system is designed in such a way that true negatives are not there. Yes, false positives are there. But imagine a scenario where you would have taken previously hours. Now I have brought it down to minutes. Ideally, it should be seconds. That's what I believe in, but it is minutes because these are the false positives. So false positives would be
Okay.
there in the system,
Think,
but tracking
Arjit,
is
in that
possible.
direction. Arjit, think in that direction that as security chief, I have best access control system. I have best CCTV system. Tailgate happened, and I am not able to isolate the person who has entered. I am also not in position to identify the person who has done the tailgating. These are the concerns of security in charges.
Absolutely.
So, uh, would there be any kind of solution? Uh, if not now, maybe a little later, and probably you are already thinking in that direction because there is still a lot to be done. Whereas integration of access control system and CCTV system is concerned, because both of them put together are elementary, almost elementary security systems, and still they need lot of tools, lot of empowerment. So think about that. And another question which comes to my mind is that you mentioned about contour. Same thing can happen with the face mask.
Yeah.
And corona or no corona, anyone can still wear the mask and come in. And there is no face recognition system. Today, they are empowered by AI, but can they discount such situation and still find the right identification?
Again, there will be, as I said, you will be able to narrow down to a smaller subset as to what you have today. But then again, there might be possibilities of false positives. And so, as security professionals or anyone who's looking at these, looking to use the system, it is not a, right now, it is not a complete autonomous system. So there is a degree of human intervention also. So with that human intervention, probably like the system will able to flag you out 10 potential such breaches or 10 potential such people. And as security professionals or anyone who's like from not security, anyone who's reviewing those footages, you probably have to bring that number from 10 to, let's say, 3, right? So the objective from bringing it from 50 to 10 is something we have done or a system will do. Now bringing from 10 to 3 is something which is which is an exercise which currently requires manual intervention. Going forwards, our vision is to make that from 50 to 3 completely autonomous. But in that journey, we have still have to make some progress in that journey. Right now, we'll make the system I mean, the system is designed in such a way that it will bring you from 50 cases to 10 cases, so save you one like a lot of time, right? And then from 10 to 3 is something where a human intervention is required.
So, Arijit, have your system been sold through competitive bidding so far in India is concerned?
So right now, the system has been mostly sold to private enterprises, right? So in private enterprises, in private enterprises, it is not through a competitive bidding. It is through an evaluation, through a pilot, through a POC. How what we do typically with, to be very honest with you and transparent with you, yet we have not yet gone into a government contract. However, we are working right now only with private players, and with our modus operandi with private players is try and then believe. Don't take my words. Don't take my words. I can give me a great storyteller. I can tell you all the stories in the world, but try. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you didn't like, and then accordingly we'll talk about the commercials. So my in my innovation journey, I never talk about commercials in my first meeting. I do give indications so that I know that the person's budget and what our expectations from the systems as far as invoicing is concerned are aligned. But then I tell people to experience our system for 7 days, 10 days, 30 days in a completely pro bono manner, and then tell us if you didn't like the system, why didn't you like the system? What else can we do to make you love the system, like the system firstly, and then make you love the system? And secondly, we believe that if one people start loving our system, it will grow organically also, because there will be a lot of good word of mouth that will happen. People, and that's what human beings are, right? We as human beings want to share. We kind of take a lot of pride in sharing that we have done something good, right? As a kid, when when I first time scored the first rank in my school, the first thing I did, I shared with a lot of people. My parents shared with a lot of people. Do they care whether I got the first rank or not? Probably not, right? So that's why the beauty is in sharing. But sharing, people will only do when they initially love the system. To enable them to love the system, we allow them to experience the system on their own, at their own convenience, with our help, for a period of time starting minimum 7 days, maximum 30 days, and then make a commercial decision.
Okay, so you are open to such approaches where the security professionals or their technological heads will approach you, see through practical means how effective your solution is, and if they like it, they can buy it, and if not, at least you get their honest customers feedback, right? but
Absolutely,
that
absolutely.
would be only for limited period.
Limited time.
If you
Yes,
open
absolutely
for
limited
what?
time. Yes, and also because we also are we are a growing company startup, so we are not we don't have the dearth of resources of a big company. That's why when we do our pilots and proof of concepts, we make sure to do it in a low scale manner. It is not a scalable. It will not be like you will do it in 100 cameras. We'll say do it in 8 cameras experience system, and then when it comes to 100
Personal.
cameras, we will scale with commercials in mind.
But Arijit, with the kind of solution you are offering, that will make many security professionals very happy. I will, for the benefit of our viewers to understand, what your solution is going to do to them. I will narrate incident. One of my senior wanted screenshots of a particular employee while first in and last out, and there were four exit entry points, and he wanted answer that day itself. And this happened about 10 years back. 10 years back, there were no video analytics.
Absolutely not. Because the reason why today video analytics has come up is because
Yeah.
computing power has become much more cheaper.
So, so let,
Cameras have
let,
become cheap.
let viewers realize what he has asked appear to be simple. For security professional, how challenging, how difficult it was. So that gentleman can come anytime, can leave anytime.
Right.
Reference is working hours, 8 hours working hours. So 9:15 to 5:45. That is the working hours. This gentleman may come early or late. So that is no particular time period can be fixed when he decides to come. Maybe at not 9:15, he will come at 7. So my search will should start within reasonable time limit. So should start not at 9:15 exact time of office. He might come little early. So maybe 1 hour or 2 hours before the office time. He might leave late, not exactly 5:45, little late. He might also leave just 10 minutes after his entry. So I will search for the entire range of this time. One thing, there are four cameras to be monitored. So there were no video analytics. And if you see a man enters, it takes average man, if he is walking in through a briefcase, it will be uh, 10 seconds to 20 seconds if door is open. Now that means I cannot reduce the frame rate. It has to
Right.
be 24 frame rates per second, isn't it? That is
Right.
the time suggested. So now it is range of 10 hours multiplied by four cameras, 40 hours. 40 hours viewing, then only I can find a solution and see what your tagging and searching would do. So most of the time, most difficult problems got simple solutions. But when solutions look very simple, it is with a lot of R&D and lot of sweat and so-called burning midnight oil. I know that you have been working very hard, and you have now a product which is almost ready for commercial bidding. I request you to summarize the key points of your VOGIC.
Sure, sir. So the key points of VOGIC is firstly VOGIC, the name itself, video and logic, which means that we will not hard code you or bound you to in a custom or kind of a hardbound video analytics. We let you create your own logic on top of the videos. The Vogic allows you to search for anything and everything from your CCTV footage in seconds instead of manual searching, which takes hours. Vogic also allows you to consume the snapshots or the small bites of the video which is relevant and interesting to you. in a format which you have been consuming so far in your lives, such as Instagram stories. VOGIC categorizes different breaches as observed from videos into different genres, like how you will see in Netflix. So, similarly, tailgating is a genre. Similarly, unauthorized access is a genre. Car parking violation is a genre. So different genres of videos get automatically captured and for consumption. And lastly, Vogic allows you to be collaborative, because as human beings we want to collaborate. Whenever you collaborate, we get better output. So Vogic allows you to collaborate on any footages or any cases with others.
Thank you very much, Ajit, for sparing your time. And I really appreciate the idea and the way you are pursuing this. I wish you all the success, and I am sure our viewers, the security professionals, will benefit from the solutions you will bring in the market very soon. And our viewers, you are once again requested to subscribe the channel if you have not already done. Hit the bell icon and you will get the notification, advance notification for our forthcoming discussion. By now, you must have become almost used to getting the high quality discussion which we bring through the forum of ICISS, International Council for Industrial Security and Safety Management, which is in forefront in professionalizing the security professionals. So for next discussion, subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, get the advance notification. Until we bring next security leadership discussion, I pray to God to make you happy, healthy, and successful in what all you do. Remain safe, remain secure. May God